All right, so welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
This is Conversations with the Crawleys, who do conversations about faith, family, relationships, and we do recaps, reviews, and commentaries of our favorite shows. This one is all about the Denver edition of Married at First Sight. So this is content that you enjoy, and chances are you clicked on the thumbnail, you clicked on the video. You might have an interest in it, right? If you have not already, hit that subscribe, hit the like, request notifications,
and share.
We'll see you in the comments, and consider becoming a member and checking out the merch store. All right, so we're in this portion of Married at First Sight where we're starting to at least get a little more than just I'm ready to be married, a little more than just I do, oh, I'm so nervous, that type of stuff.
Right.
Still don't have a whole lot to go on, but
no, just trying to see if there's chemistry between each party. Do they like each other? Because we've had a couple seasons where
it fell apart.
Yeah.
It fell apart like before they got down the aisle.
They weren't even trying.
Right.
So, well, and this is one of them because
that's true.
It is one of them here as well. So,
yes. So we can start talking about Claire and Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron, again, is from New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
And he is like 6'9" compared to his wife, who is like 5'-3".
I know.
She's short.
She is really, even with
compared
heels.
to him, right?
Compared to him. And she has heels on as well.
Yes.
So, but looked like first impressions went over very well.
Yes.
And as they were at their reception,
mm-hmm.
obviously the families want to get to know him because they know nothing about this guy.
Right. And for him, it's a little different because his family's not there.
He has a surrogate family.
He has, a surrogate family. So his surrogate family's there, but he does say that he thinks that his actual family would like Claire.
And he's interested in having another wedding in New Zealand.
Yes. So if they last that long.
Yeah.
And plane tickets ain't gonna be cheap, so make sure it's for real, for real.
It'll be for real, for real.
For real, for real. But one thing that I did not particularly care for, if you remember in the previous episode, the sisters Claire was like, don't judge him too fast, give him some time, what have you. Right. And then when they got his gift because they didn't understand it, understandably so, it wasn't a normal gift, right?
And it seemed like he didn't put a letter, anything to it. So she was a little put off instead of being open to receive, like, oh, I'm wondering what this means. How is this important to him in his life? So
she hears his accent. She knows he's from New Zealand. It makes sense to her. But he's talking to her sisters. And remember, she is one of a quadruplet. So there's two other sisters. And then she's got a total of two more sisters. There's a total of 6 kids originally from their mom.
But
one brother passed away.
Right, which was a part of the
quadruplet.
Correct.
But he's kind of talking. He's like, your mom, talking to the sisters. Your mom likes me. They take that, and one of the sisters starts basically in the producer cut starts mimicking him. And then even while they're there, they're kind of mocking him. They're throwing shade.
Yeah. And at first he wasn't catching on to what they were doing. Right. He was like, oh, okay. So I think, to me, don't be rude.
No.
You just met the guy and he's just trying to give a perspective. He's like, she's trying to tell you, like, I feel comfortable because your mom is just being really nice to me.
Yep.
She's saying she's liking me. And it's also more like, as a validation, like, is this real and everything?
Exactly.
Instead of them like, oh, so you're this big guy and you achieve everything. But again, you want your sister to be comfortable. You want to be comfortable that your sister's marrying a stranger. Right. That's why you're sharing this information with you. So right now, I really don't care for how the sisters are acting towards him when she did try to say, give the guy a chance.
Right. So let's talk about Emily and Brennan.
Yes.
To say they are both kind of stiff is an understatement.
You said Emily
and Brennan.
Both?
He's more stiff than her.
You think so?
At least at the beginning.
Okay.
Right? At least at the beginning. Now she loosens up because she got a little brown and clear in her.
Oh, you think someone warmed her up, huh?
Yes. At the beginning though, she was kind of stiff. He was very stiff.
Yeah, he was really stiff.
Okay. Now, yes, once she gets a little of the brown in her, a little of the clear in her, she loosens up, right?
Yeah, that's what it tends to do.
No. You either loosen up or you just get real mellow and just sit in the corner somewhere. Sorry, that's what happens. So he's talking with her bridesmaids. They do ask a question because the big thing with Emily is the fact that she's never had a serious relationship, but she's ready for a real relationship.
Yeah, we'll see, right? Because when you're focused on yourself and it sounds like a little bit dismissive in your past relationships.
Yes.
Then it is what it is.
Yeah.
So we'll see if she actually is ready or not.
Yes. And his guys drill her on.
His guys were drilling more than the girls were drilling. Like they could tell that they really care for their friend.
Right.
And this sounds like he's been really trying to work intentionally finding a wife. Because he said every time he did have a serious relationship, he got closer and closer to someone that he thought he could marry.
Yeah. So now you said she said something about.
So she was talking to the groomsmen. And as you said, she had a little liquid courage in her. And she said she was pretty much, she's open.
Down for it.
If they hook up, they hook up because it's better now because she's actually married than any previous hookup.
Yes.
So it's like, I'm married. It's validated.
Right.
So if things happen, it's happening because she says she feels like there's an attraction between two of them.
Yeah.
So great. You like him and no shade, right? Because we've had some couples who started the intimacy on their honeymoon and then some decided to wait. Either way, they end up in arguments or not.
You're still going to have to get used to being married.
You're still going to have to get used to being married. If the intimate side works well, then maybe it's just working on the emotional.
My main concern with that, though, is that by her own admission, she's not really been in a serious relationship. She basically has alluded to the fact that, she'll get down in lieu of a relationship. So I get, yes, you're married. Yes, it's perfectly okay. I think that they do need to take some time.
Yes. And I think
do something different.
I think he may stop her and say, hey, I appreciate you wanting to, but I really want to get to know you. And I think if he responds differently, I think that would get her out of her mindset.
Yes, I agree.
But if he doesn't respond, it's putting back in the same mindset of what her previous relationships.
You got me going in circles,
which were non-existing. So we don't want to do that.
No. All right. Becca and Austin.
Yes. They're so cute. I just can't help saying they're just like the cute Colorado couple. Let me put it that way. Okay. So, and they seem to be matched really well. So I'm hoping for everything to go right for them. I know she said there's some concerns because she just had some surgery.
Right.
I'm concerned, is this going to affect her reproductive? Because when you try to match someone up, I'm assuming they talking about kids and having kids. And I wonder how well in depth they go if she's not able to have children.
Right.
If that would be a problem for him. I can't tell. I know there's some mention and there's some just alluding to what's going on with her, but it's not sure what that means.
Yes.
So
now the other thing with them is that they she is talking to his friends and he is talking to her friends. And the conversation of, immediate intimacy comes up. Right. And she's like, I forgot exactly how she put it, but it was almost as if she's like, I'm not necessarily going to jump him. I'm going to kind of take it at the pace. But her friends are like, oh, yeah, she touchy.
Yeah, because she'd claw you or something weird. Well, and she said she's not sure about her surgery. She mentioned that as well.
Yes.
But I get what they're saying is that she's just a touchy-feely person.
Right.
And he's like, I'm not really a big touchy-feely person.
Because they said that he was like, oh, no. It's like back, no. No.
So, and it also depends on the person you're with, right?
True.
So, like, maybe some other person may not, but now that this is his wife, he might be a little bit more comfortable or can get used to something like that.
Yes.
So, because I know it takes time.
Yes.
I'm not a big touchy-feely person.
I'm not either. So.
But I feel like you're more instant to touch, and True. I feel like I have to kind of really focus on it.
Yes. So. Okay. All right.
But I appreciate the touch.
I'm sure you do. Mm-hmm.
Anywho,
move on to Lauren and Orion, or as her best man or friend called him, Orion. Don't know where he got that from.
It's spelled like Orion, right? It's not like it's a different spelling, right?
No,
okay,
I want to Orion.
Right, I think that's how it's spelled.
So, well, because think about it also. You've heard the wedding. They called his name a few times.
They did.
When the wedding ended, we now pronounce. Mm-hmm. They said his name. Mm-hmm. So you just wasn't paying attention.
No, he's like, I'm just here.
Or you just wanted to be funny.
Some free food.
Think you were funny.
Right.
So they're slow dancing. She's enjoying it because she thought, she's like, I could really get with somebody who, one of her things was she wanted somebody that she could just kind of awkwardly slow dance with. Mm-hmm. And yes, it was an awkward slow dance. Talks more about his culture. Mm-hmm. Okay. They even do, you called it a line dance.
Because that's what basically is. I know in tradition, and I'm not trying to.
No, because every culture has a line dance. Let's just be honest, right? You got your achy breaky heart. Yeah. You got your wobble.
Hey.
You got your electric slide.
Everything started out of traditional dance based off of people's culture. So.
Yes. So yes, he did a Native American culture dance. Yes. I'll say that, right?
Yes. And she enjoyed it because everyone was gathering together and doing something different and accepting, right?
Yes.
And I think in this time, it's important to brace people's cultures.
Yes.
Which they're trying to do here.
So, they're talking. They're good so far. They seem to have decent chemistry, right? Mm-hmm. But then he sits down and he has a conversation with her daddy.
He was ready, boy. It was like...
Pops was like, let's talk, son.
He's like, you don't need my approval. You're already married now. But he's like, I do want your approval, sir.
He's like, well, please. It's too late now, but
please, sir.
We'll see.
I was like, dang.
Because one of the things that stuck out for me was the father was like, okay, because as Orion was telling his story about how he's licensed, he lives with his mother, right? Mm-hmm. But he's licensed to do real estate and I think electrical work. In New York.
Right. And he's getting his broker's license.
Now in Denver, right? Mm-hmm. So the father's like, wait, hold up. You got a home, you're in New York, but you're here. What does that look like for your marriage? Mm-hmm. And he's like, I want to have a home on the East Coast. It'd be cool to have a place here that I can go, when I'm ready to go, And he then, he's like, okay, the father's like, what do you see as far as in marriage? What are your things? He's like, well, because I grew up in a matriarchal society, then I'm not for being bossed around. And the dad's like, what is, basically he's like, what that got to do with the other thing? What does that have to do with the other thing? Or as my dad used to say, what's that got to do with price of tea in China? What does that got to do with anything? So we were talking about it. I think that it's a sign that Orion may not really be ready for marriage because even though, yes, you're coming up on Married at First Sight, if I have to tell you that you have to consider the needs, wants, and wishes of your partner that you are marrying or married to, that's not a conversation that I would have with someone who says that they're ready to be married.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying, and I stated that before because I wonder if he's trying to get to a traditional role where he makes the decisions, and obviously we can't read his mind and what he was saying because he said in his culture the matriarch is normally the woman or was the woman,
right?
In this case, so I don't know because it seemed like in everything else he's not fitting a traditional mold.
But hear me, if we bringing up his culture all the time.
That's what I'm saying. I thought there was men that was always
I don't
matriarch.
know.
I don't know.
The patriarch,
yeah. Well, he said matriarch, not
patriarch. Right, which means it's woman dominated or woman led, right?
Right. So I don't know. And there's a lot of things that he's brought up that we're still trying to figure him out.
Yes.
So, but I think the father was like really put him in his place, like, well, you need to be considering your wife and what her thoughts are. And you just can't be just taking my daughter all the way to East Coast, and then you're going to come back to Colorado when you want to. He's like, it ain't going down like that. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So he was kind of like, double gulping.
Right. He was like, this a black daddy. Oh, my bad.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, that was pretty much it. Again, these first few episodes are more on the wedding and just like the fluffy stuff and starting to get a little deep. But as we move towards honeymoon and later weeks, of course, there's going to be probably a lot more to talk about. The trailer seems interesting because it looks like there is something that took place with Lauren that Orion was not very appreciative of.
Right.
And doesn't look like he could get past it.
Right. So hopefully that's just one scene, right? Because obviously when we're looking at this, we want to see all the couples do well,
right,
and get through it. Especially, it's just everything is hardcore rush. You don't know this person, you get married, and then all these things come towards you before you get to build up to know this person and have a relationship. So
yeah, so we'll see. That's pretty much it. We'll see you all next time. Definitely make sure you're checking out some of the other stuff on the channel. As we just did an interview with a young woman named Kia, as she talked about living single, for waiting for her person. And so there's a wonderful story there. And then, of course, we have our other shows that we do, for example, Ready to Love, Make a Move. So let us know your thoughts. Let us know if we missed anything, because somebody pointed out that we did not see the last wedding last week. So, yes, you're correct in that. That's it. We'll see y'all next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.
Bye.